All right, here we are.
Here we go, episode 7.
Lucky number 7.
Oh, I hope that. You think,
right?
You think 7's lucky?
Well, I don't know.
Why do people say that?
They do. I don't know why. I think I've always heard sometimes it's biblical a little bit.
Oh, biblical.
But that's what I mean. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know. Lucky sevens, right? You go to I lived in Vegas for a little while, right? So you'd always see the 777, all the lucky sevens.
That's right. That's usually what hits the jackpot.
Yeah, that's it, right? So yeah, I don't know why. I don't know. Maybe somebody should tell us what they know about why 7 is so lucky. But.
So, how was your week? What happened in the world of Jeremy Lewis this week?
Yeah, so not a lot, I guess. Of course, I did play over at O'Nelly's.
How was Monday's
And I
open
played
link?
tonight. I played tonight at, the Austin kid that I talked about before was there.
Yeah. Okay.
And I showed him, I played him the clip because he goes, I came in and he's like, oh, hey, I remember you. And then he goes, oh, but I don't like you anymore. And I'm like, what? And he's like, because he's from Michigan and I had a Ohio State hat on.
Oh.
So I was like, oh, what? And I said, after I gave you a shout out on the podcast, he's like, what podcast? And so then I told him and I played the clip for him where I'm like, man, this kid's going somewhere. So Austin, and anyways, he's a nice kid.
His name's Austin, but he's not from Texas. He's from the state up north.
Yeah, he's from up there. But he's a great kid. He played amazing and sounded great again.
You had to go after him?
I did. So
how did that make you feel?
It always makes me, I do my best. Best. And it was an off night.
And did you apologize before and after every song?
I probably did.
You got to stop that now.
I know.
Stop it. You're good.
I do got to give a shout out to Greg up there. He goes by 50 Shades of Greg.
Okay.
He's an amazing guitar player. And so, he runs open mic night there. So, O'Nelly's, I'll be there probably tonight playing.
All right.
I haven't made up my song list yet, but if you ever want to see me play, come out Monday nights.
There it is.
You'll add to the crowd of like one person listening to me. Yeah. So, and maybe Elle said she might come out tonight and listen. So Elle's from Smash Park. So she works there. And yeah, she's the best waitress there.
She is.
And always
Where
amazing
she's from?
for us. She's from Ethiopia.
That's right. We always talk about, is that where the Ark of the Covenant is?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And super awesome waitress. But she said she's off today, so she said she might because I haven't been to Smash Park in a while. I feel bad about that.
Speaking of Smash Park and pickleball, did you have a couple of pickleball last week? I was out of town. I didn't get to go.
Yeah, but no, we missed you. Yeah, we missed you.
No, you don't miss me.
I didn't have a good target on the field.
Gee whiz, that's on tape.
I felt bad. I can't hit Michelle. I'd feel bad about that, or one of the other ladies. So,
but you don't have a problem hitting me.
Well, you just seem to want to stand right there in the way of the ball.
No.
You're like my younger brother when we would throw the football from a long distance, and maybe we're throwing at him, but there's no way we could really hit him. But if we hit him, then he said it was on purpose, and it's like, man, the odds of us hitting him are very slim. You know what I mean? So you're kind of like that. You were the younger brother who would destroy the models all the time, and then couldn't understand why you got
all of our stories. That's the one you remember,
and then you couldn't understand why you got a beating. But from your older brothers. I mean, I guess I kind of understand it a little bit. But no, and then yesterday I had a really cool experience.
Oh, tell me.
I sent you the video. You saw me shooting that full automatic.
Oh yes, what was that?
That was pretty cool. Yeah, that was a gentleman who invited. So he has this World War II personal collection, and he has every single weapon from World War II. It was incredible, and his knowledge of every single weapon. He has a story for every one of them. There were hundreds, and he has a story. He should be having a podcast, and he should really be going through every single one of them and telling a story. He could really literally he might make a book or something, which I think his wife recommended that. Like, say he did a book and did a paragraph, because he could, and it would be amazing. And
so this is he has his own shooting range. It's off his back deck. What were you doing?
Well, he's got a nice little plot of land, so we were out there doing
All right.
it.
And what were you shooting?
He was so good about the management of the safety, the glasses.
All right.
He had it all set up, and I feel bad because I don't remember the actual weapon that I was firing.
It was a semi-automatic.
Yeah, I think everybody's probably going to realize people were like, man, your memory's so good. I have memories for like personal stories. I have a terrible memory for memorizing
What happened yesterday?
Well, no, like specifics, like this baseball player, this football player, this wrestler, like the guns, right? The weapons that we fired. Like, I don't have the ability to do that. Like,
when
that.
I say it's semi-automatic, I'm thinking that
No.
means...
This was full automatic.
So a three burst is semi-automatic.
Yeah.
Oh, and as long as you hold down the trigger, it's shooting the whole thing.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It was pretty awesome.
All right,
and
they're not illegal.
You know, you ever get those? Well, you have to have. He has all the right stuff for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, all the legal work.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting. You know, you ever get in these moments where like you're just like, how did I end up right here again? I love these. I just love these moments, and where I'm like, how did I get here? This gentleman letting me come to his home, letting me do this. You know, and he's one of those gentlemen that I kind of like to be that way too. I like seeing other people happy.
Yeah.
And you could tell he likes seeing other people happy.
Yeah.
And so I think that's why he does it, right? He likes seeing other people happy. I mean, other people might say other things, I don't know, but I really could see the joy in his face just from us getting the opportunity for him sharing all that with us. And he had brought World War II veterans, and he would ask them like what weapon they used during World War II, and they would say, and then he would have them hand them that weapon. So they would, wow. And I think he said he gave one to one of the gentlemen too. So it was pretty amazing. Just a generous.
I didn't know
awesome.
these things. So you're saying in the 1940s we had automatic weapons?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
Well, you know, did I ever tell you the time I went to a shooting range with a guy with a gun?
You got to watch Saving Private Ryan. You'll see all the automatic weapons in there. But no, keep going. She went to a shooting range.
Well, I was at a gathering at church, and I walked up to these two guys who were talking about guns, and I said, "This sounds interesting." And they said, "You own a gun?" I said, "Yeah, I own a gun." They said, "What kind of gun?" I said, "A BB gun."
Oh, a little Red Ryder.
It is.
You had a Red Ryder. Don't shoot your eye out.
He said, "So you don't have a gun?" And I said, "Well," he said, "You want to go shooting with me?" And he was on the SWAT team for the not Ohio National Guard, the Ohio Patrolmen.
Wow.
And he's the guy that sits up on top of St. John's Arena at Ohio State football games, and he's got his 50 caliber.
Oh, he's that guy up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to which I asked him, with 50 caliber, I mean, that's like, sorry for the term, overkill. And he said, no. I take out a car engine if it's in a place it shouldn't be.
If it's getting crazy, yeah.
So anyway, he takes me to this place, and he's got his van filled with all of these weapons.
Yeah.
And we go to this range for highway patrolmen, and he said, "All right, well, the first thing is I want you to look downrange." And I look downrange, and behind me, he throws a flashbang up.
Oh. So he startled you.
I startled, and he said, "Okay, now you're used to loud sounds."
He wanted to get you going, yeah.
We did his Sig Sauer, and we did some of his service weapons, and then we went up to the three burst things.
Yeah.
And then he had me lay down on my belly, and we did the long range aiming things, the target, and I'm using all the wrong language. But then he brought out his 50 caliber, and that shell was the size of round as a quarter, and I mean probably 4 or 5 inches long.
Yeah. And
that thing, man. And he had everything, I don't know what you call it, flared at the end, because it would have just knocked me flat back. But that was my experience. I've never shot a gun since.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was that. Anything else about your week?
No, I mean, I didn't have a lot. I mean, I already talked a lot, I guess, and I know you had a big week. So let's go over your week.
Well, this was.
I mean, I'm surprised they let you. I mean, we talked about it before how you were heading up here, and I think they had to do inspections and probably everything to let Lewis on to Put in Bay. But so it was an interesting week.
Every other summer, we got 4 grown kids who are all married. And we've got 6 grandkids, another one coming in a month. But so 16 of us went up to Put in Bay. We got these 3 cottages in a cul-de-sac all together. And it's something very special to spend 5 days with everybody there. And we did a lot of fun things. Even though there were 3 cottages, all the littles, when they woke up and their moms or dads really wanted to sleep longer.
Yeah.
they kind of made their way over to Pops and Lulu's cabin.
Oh, yeah.
And then they went home and went to bed. So I made breakfast for a lot of them every day. But, when you get to Put in Bay, I mean, there are cars and trucks on the island, but everybody rents a golf cart. So we had golf carts a lot.
Yeah. I know you have a story. I don't want to interrupt too much, but I just kind of want to hear, because you keep bringing, when you say that, and now that my brother and his wife, they're grandparents.
Yeah.
And I see other people my age becoming grandparents. And so when you said that, I just have that imagery of, like, I'm not a grandparent yet, but I just, that the feeling that you had probably of having your grandkids come over
it's just
in the
wonderful.
morning.
When a 1.5-year-old who's a little nervous about anybody who's a stranger sees you and just wants to run.
Yeah, it's right to you, back to you. Yeah.
I mean, that ain't any better. And then they mess their pants and you hand them back.
That's the way it goes.
This kid stinks.
So sorry, you were talking about the go-karts.
Oh, yeah, go-karts. We were worried going ahead of time, like, what is the Put in Bay police going to think of us?
Oh, my goodness. You overplayed that too much, I think.
And we had, we had 2 6-person golf carts. Not at all. So we would put 6 people on, and each with a kid on our knee. I mean, you're talking about 1.5-year-olds.
You watch. Next year, they're going to make everybody have their kids in car seats.
On their knee. And the cops were even out on their own golf carts, and they pulled up right behind us. And the person in the back seat, that's looking in the rear.
Yeah.
And he just saying, the cop is just shaking his head, but they didn't stop us at all.
Yeah.
And so it was a good time. We have what we call the Lewis Royal Games.
The Royal Games.
These are a lot of relay games. Daddy Close Relay. Have you ever played Daddy Close Relay? Well, this is where you get oversized clothes, and you put a stack of them on one end of the relay race.
Is this like Festivus, but in the summertime?
It's just the Lewis Royal Games. And then, the kids, the 3-year-old runs down, has to put all on Daddy Close Relay and a hat and shoes and shuffle their way back and do all of that. And
that's so cool.
Water games, and, we split into 2 teams, and my team lost.
Now, how's your family react to doing that? Are they pretty much excited and on board and want to, or is it kind of hard to get it?
We are quite competitive.
Okay.
We are quite competitive. Not all the spouses are competitive.
Yeah.
And the spouses are usually trying to keep the littles from getting hurt.
Yeah.
Because the rest of us
get a little too wild and crazy.
We get a little too wild.
That's so cool, though, because I just remember a few times when I was a kid, there would be, my family's obviously weirdly, it's dispersed or whatever, right, in a way. But there would be these reunions, and
yes.
I never got to, we would go to, I went to a couple when I was a kid, and I don't know, I don't remember whose reunions, or if they were, I don't know if it was on my, stepmom's side, or if it was, my mom's adopted family, I didn't have these normally every year, but they had a couple, and I remember they would do occasionally, I remember having these, because you would see it on TV too, right? These families getting together and having these games where they're doing the tie the leg together, or the
three-legged race.
Yeah, and it was so fun. And so I'm like, wow, do people really still do that? I know if I tried to, I feel bad. I know if I tried to do that with my family, they would be like, you're too cheesy. This is silly. And I'd probably be pulling people's teeth to get them involved. But when you, it's kind of like what you do on, the men's retreat. You got everybody.
Oh, exactly. And we call them Royal Games there.
Yeah,
too.
And it's so fun. And I thoroughly enjoy it. And
but you gave my job away to somebody else.
Well, yeah, Jay is just fantastic at doing it. You know what I mean? And
I start things, and then you get better people. I'll be replaced on this podcast soon. Too.
Well, it happens.
Yeah, gee whiz.
Hey, when you guys are in right now, just
yes. So we taught. My favorite pictures are the ones where we're on.
So who won though? You didn't say who won the Royal Game.
The other team.
Oh, you didn't win.
No, we were their team was Greece.
Oh.
And we picked Spain and Greece.
And Spain won the World Cup, but not this time.
No, but the Greek team, every time they win an event, they go, "Oopa!" in their face, and it was not good. But my favorite photographs of the week were me with the grandkids at the dock fishing.
Yeah.
Because I've got them all poles now and teach them how to put the worm on the end. And none of my kids really, some of them.
Because you're allowed to fish without a license for little kids.
Yeah.
You were just using them to fish, just admit it.
Well, we weren't catching anything big.
Oh, okay.
But yeah.
You said you were a big fisherman, though, and you're the expert.
I am. I was trying to fish for perch up there off the dock.
I'm a
and
terrible fisherman. I'll never claim to be a great fisherman.
all we were getting were these little fish that are invasive, and they're called gobies, and you really should kill them before throwing them back.
Oh.
But anyway, we didn't do that in front of the kids. But I will tell you about one thing that was surprised, because I've been going to Put in Bay for decades and decades, and this has never happened. But here it is. We were there Sunday, not even on a weekend. We were there Sunday to Friday, and I think it was Wednesday morning or Thursday morning. My wife and I are getting a golf cart, and we're going up to get a coffee at a coffee place early in the morning. And there's a crime scene van by one of the bars, and there was a roll roped off, and there was cop cars, and there was a murder there that happened at 12:30 that night. They caught the guy sleeping in his car who did the murder a couple hours later, and this was all happening. And they go, "What? We picked up pizza at this place." So it was a little surreal.
Yeah, I can't imagine, right? You were there probably the night before.
Yeah, so that was a bummer. But on the way home,
sorry for the family.
On the way home, I was going through Attica.
Attica.
You ever heard of Attica?
Yeah,
Ohio?
I've driven through Attica. I think from Ashland to Cedar Point, how would I drive through Attica?
It's right on Route 4 between Bucyrus and Sandusky.
Bucky Russ?
Bucky Russ, yeah.
Yeah, Bucky Russ.
And they've got Sandusky Speedway.
Yeah, I think when we go up to Cedar Point from here, we go through Attica. But I also thought when I would drive from Ashland to Sandusky, Cedar Point,
maybe when you got lost,
would go through there. Because we'd go up through and we would go into, what's Thomas Edison's town again?
Milan. Or Milan.
Is it Milan or
It's
Milan?
Milan, Ohio.
Milan, Ohio, right?
Milan, Italy.
Yeah, Milan. And so, but it's right near there. I remember, I've been to Attica.
Yes,
not great, but yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Nowhere near there.
All right, well, somewhere in there, I've seen Attica. I know I've been through it.
You're going through Attica, and I'm seeing this sign in the little downtown area you go through, 2 stoplights, and it says, "Please submit ideas for the Attica time capsule."
Oh, they're doing a time capsule?
They're doing a time capsule.
Okay.
And I...
Did you submit?
I started thinking, wow, that's an amazing thing. I think that would be great. And I'm not from Attica, but if I lived in Attica, maybe I would submit something.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's 100-year or 50-year
It's interesting because
capsule.
time capsule seems something like people did in the 50s.
Yeah, and they've opened them now, and they're doing it again.
Like back in the 50s is when people would do time capsules.
Yeah.
And, because it was just a special time, I think. I don't know. I always think of the 50s a great time. 50s and the 80s. But not now. I didn't think anybody still did time. That's pretty cool, though.
So they're doing them.
So what do you put in there?
Well, I'm not from Attica, but I was starting to think about time capsules, and then it hit me. The whole week was putting time capsule stuff in my kids' memories that will be opened in future generations.
Oh, yeah.
The memories.
I mean, the memories of, when you go up there with the grandkids and the kids and they're playing.
It is a time capsule.
The Royal games.
But it's locked up in there.
Yeah, like you said, I can remember going and playing the few times, and those are good memories.
Yeah. So, anyway, this is going to be a great episode. Anything else? Did you get anything in the mailbag? Any comments?
Well, we did get we're not getting a lot yet, but we did get a few. So, Jen, she posted, and
all right.
So she was talking about, because I had posted about Billy, I had said something about Billy. Well, I said something about Queen, and it had "We Are the Champions," and I could have swore on the other side it had the song "Stroke," which is probably not an appropriate song, but it was Billy Squier, and so I was like, well, how's Billy Squier and Queen related? And I guess in 1982, which would have been before that, when I remember it. I mean, I remember it as a kid, but they toured together, I guess. I guess Billy Squier opened for Queen and that. So maybe that's a real thing. So thanks for commenting on that. And
even though I know you, Jen, and you're not old enough to even been alive back then, but thanks for fact checking it.
Yeah, no, that's great. Yeah, she posts every once in a while a couple comments, which we enjoy.
Yes.
Beverly's posted a couple times. Okay. Yeah, saying just positive things. She loves this and loves that.
All right.
And then my Aunt Mary, she posted and just said, yeah, she's been trying, the Louis Stackhouse on episode 4.
Okay.
And she's like, yeah, I've told that story so many times and nobody believes her. And, but it's true. I mean, it happened, and she was there and I was there, and she probably has a better memory than I did, because I just got it from like seeing the blue lights, the house surrounded, and being in the car with my brother brother's stinking up the cop car.
That's
but
great. Well, welcome
yeah.
back to our podcast. Explain the sign and how we titled it The Most Unpredictable Life.
Yeah, and I'm Jeremy Lewis.
And I'm Terry Lewis.
And this is
we're not related.
Oh, every time. But this is a most unpredictable life. The reason it is most unpredictable life is because in 1992, when I was graduating from high school, my class named me most unpredictable. And so from there, went on to live what, in some ways, a most unpredictable life.
Yes.
And here we are. So who would have predicted I'd be doing a podcast? So.
Yeah. And we're doing kind of the format of the podcast is 1 year in the life of Jeremy Lewis. And I give comments about, since I'm much older than you, as to what I was doing.
I'm luring you in with a year in Terry, too.
No, we do it back and forth. So we're jumping in the DeLorean. And what date are we putting in there?
Yeah, we're going all the way back to 1980. So last week we were up in 2001, and here it is 2026, and we're heading back to 1980.
Man, and
a great year though.
You remember it?
Well, I do. Like,
we have early memories from.
Yeah.
You were like,
I was in kindergarten. I was going into kindergarten. 79 to 80 was my kindergarten years. And it's weird because I think about 1980. And to me, it's the most like normal, I think, one of the most normal years of my childhood.
Oh, okay.
Even though my parents are divorced, right? We always already had the Blizzard and Louie.
Yeah.
But I think I said that before with those years in 79. I said that was probably it. But I think about those years, right? It just seemed like, you get up in the morning, you go to school. I was going to kindergarten and But anyways,
we're going to get into a lot of great stories from that year in your life, and that's good. But let's hit some cultural highlights from 1980 that I had to fact check because I never know. Was this 80? Is this 81? Was this 79?
It all blurs when you get old.
Yeah,
I guess,
that's
right?
true. But music at the time, Pink Floyd was big. The Wall album came out, and some people are big Pink Floyd fans.
No, they are. I mean, I liked it. I remember in like 83, 84, somewhere on like HBO or MTV, they would play the Wall show. And my brother loved Pink Floyd, my oldest brother. When I saw that was 1980, I was surprised. Again, you guys will probably learn very quickly, I'm not the best at memorizing like these bands, these lead singers, these dates. I'm kind of probably like you, they blur. But I was surprised. I thought it was more of a 70s thing that kind of had a resurgence in the movie had been made in the 80s. But it sounds like the song came out, and probably that movie when I was watching it had just been made, I guess, in 83, 84. I don't even know.
Maybe.
But
I remember Queen, that's what I had been listening to through high school, and they were still performing and making albums. And Another One Bites the Dust. Another One Bites the Dust. I don't really know what it was about. Do you know what it is about? Another One Bites the Dust?
I mean, Another One Bites the Dust.
Violence, people die.
Yeah, I assume. I'm not, again, that was not, I did like, I mean, we all ran around singing that song. Another one does, another one does.
Yeah.
I already learned, this is why you don't want to ever come watch me at open mic night, right? You can already hear that I'm not that good.
No, they can see just how good you are.
Yeah, but Another One Bites the Dust.
You going to add that to the repertoire?
I don't think so. I mean, maybe I should. Maybe I should try to learn it today.
It's just pretty repetitive.
Right?
Another One Bites the Dust.
There you
go.
go.
Here's something. I don't think you're old enough to remember this. Because you probably don't even remember a cassette player. But
wow, no, where? Yeah, of course I remember cassette player.
1980, I'm in college and
8-track too.
An 8-track. That was before. Anyway, we had in 1980s, we had friends that had bootleg vinyls of Bruce Springsteen concerts. And
bootleg? How in the world do you make a bootleg?
Here's how you make a bootleg, because it was the first time, well, maybe not the first time, but we would have those little personal cassette players that had a microphone, condensed mic in it.
Yeah, like the Walkman or whatever.
And people would take it to a Bruce Springsteen concert, and they would record the whole 3-hour concert, which included songs that weren't on any of his albums.
Oh, okay.
And then people put them on vinyls. I don't know how you do that.
They knew how to.
But they put it on vinyls, and they sold bootleg versions of Bruce Springsteen albums.
Really?
And that was the biggest thing in that day for
That's
me.
crazy.
1980.
I didn't realize that was a thing. Like, to me, it seems like such a. I don't even know how I actually don't know how vinyls how you make a vinyl, let alone like bootleg. Like you have this own little vinyl making machine in your house back in 1979, 80. And
but you'd rock out Born in the USA.
Is that one? Wait, did Born in the USA come in the 80s?
I don't know when that one did, but
I would say I think that's a little later.
It's Springsteen. I don't.
Yeah. I mean, maybe not. Maybe. Somebody will have to correct us on that. So
and movies, The Empire Strikes Back.
That was in 1980.
I think that was in 1980, and it's the first time we learned that Darth Vader, spoiler alert, is actually Luke's father. I am your father.
You know, I don't think I started watching Star Wars until Return of the Jedi, though. And then went back and watched the other one because I was pretty young then. Probably, I mean, the storylines when you're real young are hard to follow, I think, and of course the Ewoks and everything. In Return of the Jedi really grabs the younger generation. Right. And so I watched that, and then I would go back. I like Star Wars. Yeah. I know you're not a big Star Wars fan.
I like Star Wars, but I like Star Trek better.
Yeah, never really. I like the Star Trek movies because we'll get in. I think 82, 83 is when The Wrath of Khan came out as a movie.
Yeah.
So that's somewhere in there. You know what's not on here? Like in the 80s, 79, 80, there were two movies that had come out. I know Alien had come out.
Alien. What do you remember?
Well, I remember watching that. I think I was in kindergarten.
Yeah.
I think it was this year. And it was on preview at Dale and Carol. They had this TV. I think I brought it up before. HBO. It was before HBO. They would start playing movies at 8 o'clock. It was a cable movie show, TV show channel. And you would be able to, and we watched Alien. And we were over at Dale and Carol. And I remember just like.
I mean, was it scary?
Oh, it's frightened me tremendously. Right?
Wow.
I mean, the scene where, the alien in the stomach and all that. And, but I remember there was this thunderstorm, a lightning. And I don't know why, again, you're always like, is this memory true? I do remember also like literally the house getting struck by lightning or something. And like seeing the bolt, like travel down the stairwell there.
Oh.
And I just remember everybody did you guys just see like how the lightning and then like there was stuff wrong with the house?
I didn't watch scary movies.
You didn't at all? Oh my goodness. My mom loved everything horror. Everything horror.
And you guys were allowed to watch it?
Yeah. We weren't allowed to watch it. She just set us in front of it. I mean, at a young age, I watched probably every scary movie. Carrie watched that.
Omen movies?
All the Omen movies. Exorcist movies. You name it, I watched it pretty much growing up.
To this day, I remember taking a girl on a date, and she wanted to see The Omen, and that the guy underneath the ice, and Damon, and Bible verses. And
the Flies.
I don't watch any of it.
You don't watch any.
I don't watch any horror.
My mom raised us on all the Stephen King. Her favorite author was Stephen King. She liked V.C. Andrews. She liked Kuntz. Dean Kuntz, I think, was another one.
No, thank you.
She would. I think he's a horror guy, but but she would read all. I mean, my mom was a person that would just sit and read all the time. So if you knew, if you wanted something, you just while she's reading, you just go up. Hey mom, can I go outside? Can I go over to so-and-so's house? And she'd just be like, yeah, go ahead, do whatever. Right? Because she's so into her book.
Oh.
Like you knew if she would get that much into the books. And they were always horror books.
I mean, could you go up behind her and say, boo?
No.
That would be trouble.
You might get something there.
You might, the 4 words.
But she loved all those. So I saw all the horror movies. And Alien was the first one I think that I remember as a very young age. But I can tell you after that, so many scary movies.
None of me. So TV, you were probably watching Mr. Green Jeans and Captain Kangaroo.
Captain Kangaroo. We had Captain Kangaroo. We had the Great Space Coasters. We had Romper Room. Yeah, those were probably the big of my age, watching on Great Space Coasters.
We had the same last name as Sherry Lewis, who had the ventriloquist lamb. Do you remember her?
Lamb Chop.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember Lamb Chop.
I remember that. Mr. Rogers, was he back?
He was a little bit on. He wasn't on in the mornings. Every morning you had Romper Room and Great Space Coasters, which we'll talk about here in a little bit.
Okay.
But yeah.
Captain
Kangaroo, yeah.
Kangaroo and Mr. Green Jeans.
And it's funny because his haircut in the new Superman movie.
Yeah.
they got the new Green Lantern.
And he's got a bowl cut?
He's got the bowl cut, just like the Captain Kangaroo. So it ruined. I actually love the character Green Lantern. I hate the Green Lantern in the Superman movie now.
Just because he has a bowl cut.
He has the Captain Kangaroo. He looks just like they took Captain Kangaroo and they made him into
Oh, my goodness. Well, 1980s TV for me, I mean, this was a cultural phenomenon.
What was that?
Nobody had done the season-ending cliffhanger like they did in 1980.
And
this was the biggest one.
What one?
There was a nighttime, what we called soap operas. There was a nighttime drama called Dallas.
Dallas.
With the guy that was in I Dream of Jeannie.
Oh, neat. No.
Larry.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Larry somebody. And he was a Dallas, like, what's the oil Landman is going on right now.
Yeah.
It was like Landman from 40 years ago. And he was an oil tycoon, and he was just a nasty guy, and he had affairs and all this. And at the end of the episode for the season finale was somebody, you don't know who, you just see a hand with a gun and shoots JR. And then all summer long, there was this campaign on cereal boxes and everywhere. Who killed JR? Or who shot JR?
Yeah.
And nobody knew. Nobody had to wait. And so finally, September comes, and you're going to find out. But no, there's a writer's strike.
Are you serious?
A Hollywood writer's strike. So we had to wait 8 months until it resolved.
Oh, no.
And then it was his sister-in-law that he had an affair with. And
it wasn't exciting.
And he wasn't really that injured, and he went back to his old self.
Oh.
So it's kind of let down. But yes, Dallas.
But it built a lot of hype for a year.
By the way, if any of you are that age and you remember that, tell us if you remember that
who
at all.
shot I can remember when I was a kid people would say that a lot. Who shot JR? But I never watched Dallas, and I remember Dynasty. Like as a kid, when Dallas and Dynasty came on, and that as a kid, you'd be like, oh, you're like disappointed. At least for me, it was.
Yeah.
I wanted to see some cartoon special, but we had an 8:00 bedtime.
Okay.
Yeah, my mom made us go to bed. I had to go to bed at 8:00 when I was young. Well, for those 1980, when my life was somewhat normal, I had a bedtime, I should say.
And sports, the U.S. We were the host for the 1980 Winter Olympics at Lake Placid, New York.
Yeah, wow.
Where is Lake Placid?
Up in New York City, up on the north side. Yeah, it's up there, straight north of New Albany and all that. I've been up there. I've been to Lake Placid. Again, you're asking me questions of where I'm not that. I just know it's northern New York, right? Maybe up towards Watertown, up there.
All right.
But yeah, I've been up to Lake Placid. My brother did the Ironman there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. My brother-in-law. Did I say that? Did I say that already? My brother-in-law did the Ironman there. And that's where my wife met Matt Damon.
Your wife met Matt Damon in Lake Placid. What, at a movie shoot? She was an extra?
No, Matt Damon's brother Kyle was doing the Ironman too, and we just happened to end up side by side. This was probably going to be another episode, but I guess we're here. But side by side, and so we're cheering for him. But I didn't know it at first, right? So I go into we're in a gas station parking lot, right? And they got it fenced off, and that's where the runners run by. So we're there with our signs cheering. We went into the gas station there to grab something to drink, and when I walk in, I see Matt Damon standing there, and I go to my wife, "Oh, hey, there's Matt Damon," and my wife lost her mind. She just lost all faculty of, like, I don't know. I guess
she had a crush on Matt Damon.
She definitely, ridiculous. So anyway, she's excited and everything. So I'm like, I see him and I go, "Hey, you mind if my wife gets a picture with you?" And so he's like, "Yeah, sure." So my wife has a picture of him. And so then now we go outside, and now she realizes he's there and he's right next to us. So his family and all them, the Damons, I guess, are all on this side. Yeah. And we're on this side and we're cheering. My wife, the whole time, she's just nonstop oogling over Matt Damon.
That's crazy.
To the point that my mother-in-law had to say something to her, be like, "Lorrie, your husband is standing right here." Right? And I'm like, yeah, I mean, this, I thought, I guess I'm not Matt Damon quality. You know what I mean? I guess
you're beyond Matt Damon quality.
That story will probably come up again in a later episode.
So Lake Placid, we're hosting the Olympics. This has got to be a memory from a 5-year-old boy. It's the famous.
No, I don't remember it, but I've seen the movie.
Well, you've seen the movie, so yeah. Yeah, the USA beats Russia, who had probably a 10 Olympic run on the gold medal, and we beat them.
The beginning of the 1980s, the glory of being an American and being in the United States, red, white, and blue. I mean, I picture, as crazy as 1980s is, it was just an amazing decade, I always felt.
Yeah. Now, politically, we had a big presidential race going in. We're going to vote in November between Ronald Reagan, a movie star, governor of California, and Jimmy Carter. And you don't remember it, but there were things happening. Like we had like 50 some hostages taken over by the fundamentalists in Iran who had kicked the Shah out.
Yeah.
And because we welcomed the Shah for health reasons into America, they went into the U.S. Embassy in Tehran and they took 50 some people and they held them hostage for 400 some days. And that's Jimmy Carter. He just couldn't get them back. And he had a failed military rescue and he had all of that. So all of that was happening. And then it was Reagan saying we need a better defense to begin with.
Yeah.
And what I remember in 1980, here I am, a sophomore in college, and there was rumor, although he had never said it as a candidate, Ronald Reagan, there was a rumor that the draft was going to start up again.
Oh, really?
Now, I mean,
that rumor comes up all the time, though. But
is it? Yeah. So I was a little scared. I didn't have military in my background. I didn't know about it. I was a little scared. So who am I going to vote for? And but that was happening all in 1980. And spoiler alert: Ronald Reagan won.
Yeah, and there was no draft.
Yes, and there was no draft, but he did build up a good military, and there was that.
Became the superpower.
So that was what was happening. I was in college, like I said. I was working on a degree to be a band director, music education at Ohio State University. And so I was learning every band instrument that there was and learning how to play everything. And
is that how you do it when you're doing that? You have to learn all the instruments?
I didn't know that. Strings class, you take a...
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I got to hear you play all these different instruments.
I can play them all.
I've heard you play the guitar.
Yes.
I think that's about it.
And you really want to hear me play anything else then?
Yeah, why not?
Which band instrument takes the most air to play?
I feel like this is a joke, but I don't know.
You would think it would be a tuba.
Okay.
It's a flute.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense
Why?
to me. Well, because you're blowing the whole time.
Well, you are. Your air is splitting like a pop bottle. Your air is splitting, so it takes twice as much air to play the flute to make a sound than it does anything else.
My wife plays the flute. My daughter plays the flute. My wife's aunt is a flute player in the Hilton Head Symphony Orchestra.
She's not a flute player. She's a
flautist.
She's a flautist.
A flautist, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So that's
a professional one. And that's how I'm really when I would have met my wife. It wasn't for the
It was the first summer that 1980 was the first summer I didn't go home to work in the summer. Back to Cedar Point to be a weight guesser. I stayed with friends and got jobs in Columbus. And the reason was, it's a little sad, but my parents were very much struggling. Dad had been an alcoholic for years. And Mom was having troubles, and they had separated and lived in two different places, and I just didn't want to go home. So I stayed there that summer, and it was a tough year with the family. But
that was your sophomore year.
That was my sophomore going into junior year.
Yeah.
And
now, where'd you stay?
Well, usually what happened back then was you'd sign a lease for an apartment off campus at Ohio State, but you had to sign a 1-year lease.
Yeah.
So you're always scrambling to
find somebody to
sublease it, and so I just stayed with these guys and we got jobs painting houses and cleaning places. And
was it fun? It's a good summer.
It was good to be with my friends.
Yeah.
The girlfriend went home.
Oh.
The high school girlfriend went home.
Oh. Yeah, we never. Who is this? Oh, I guess we're not supposed to talk about. I don't know.
No. It's fine. It was. Yeah. I dated a girl from.
You mentioned it like I remember you saying something like the last episode. I meant to dig into that a little bit, but I didn't want to.
But she was a saxophone player in the high school band.
Oh, okay.
I was the trombone player in the high school band, and we started. She's a year older than me, and she went to Ohio State, and I followed her there. We dated for about 4 years. She called my parents mom and dad. You know.
The infamous follow the girl or the boy, follow the girl, follow the boy
and,
to college.
And so, it's not that she might be it, but that summer of 1980, she went home. I stayed, and I got more involved in things she wasn't interested in, like church things and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And when she came back her senior year, my junior year, it just, we broke it off.
Broke it off, yeah.
And so I'm sure she's lived a great life. I haven't followed her career. She actually joined the military. She was a nurse in the Army.
Oh, really? Well, that's pretty awesome.
I don't know if it was a career or not, but
yeah, maybe I ran into her.
Maybe
you never know.
Maybe you did.
She bandaged me up somewhere.
Yeah, that's right. So that's what I was doing in 1980. Now this is a year in the life of Jeremy Lewis. Let's get into.
I feel like you're squirming out of this one.
1980. Well, you can ask me any questions you want about 1980 in the life of Terry Lewis.
Yeah.
But there were ups and downs with things like that. But so you're 5.5 years old, and 1980. So where did you live? Who'd you live with?
Yeah, so in 1980 at this point, we're at 281 Church Street again. Still, we talked about that. And,
okay.
Yeah, so
this is in what town?
Shreve, Ohio.
Shreve.
Yep, Shreve, Ohio.
Right by Attica. Nowhere
near there. Well, it's not terribly far, but yeah, you'd have to go down Route 30 to Bucky Russ and then head north on Route 4, and then you'd run into Attica.
Yeah, like a big triangle.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
anyways, Shreve.
Because Route 30 runs right by Worcester.
And you're entering school.
Yeah, so I'm going. This is my first year. I'm going into kindergarten.
Do you remember your kindergarten teacher?
Yeah, Mrs. Ryan. I love that. She
Really?
seemed like a really good teacher. I liked her. I probably again. I remember. I do have these weird memories of like getting in trouble where you had to lay on the ground. I remember the letter people. I loved the letter people. That was always exciting.
Wait, I don't know what the letter people are.
You didn't? How'd you learn your alphabet? You didn't learn the letter people?
Who are the letter people? I know letters that are in the alphabet, but where are the letter people?
Mrs. A, like apple, like Mrs. A. You don't like
Mrs. A.
Go home and Google.
We've had A apple, B ball.
No, but they had the letter people. They even had their own TV show, and they had these blow up. Like when I was there, they would introduce it, and it would be a blow like a pool floaty kind of thing. You'd blow it up, and then they would put it up there, and we would study that. You don't remember the letter people?
Letter people.
I remember the rubber band, and she had like a big rubber band, which all the kids wanted to get and shoot.
Let me just pause for our audience. If this is made up and he's really pulling my leg, do you remember the letter people?
They
Leave a
all
comment,
remember the
please.
letter people. They were awesome. And I remember, also remember we had
a full day kindergarten?
No, I was half day.
Half day?
I was half day kindergarten. And I remember also we had our own little bathroom where the toilets were real small, right? That was kind of interesting. I remember, it was also, I don't know. I actually knew how to tie my shoes in kindergarten, which was pretty good, I guess. But so because of that, I had to tie everybody's shoes.
You tied everybody else's shoes.
There was like 3 of us that knew how to tie shoes. And so when we would do gym or anything, they had these little stools, and the kids would go swap out their shoes, and they would come and they put their feet on the stool, and I'd have to tie their shoes. And yeah.
You didn't have gym. You had recess.
Or maybe it was recess. We had some gym or something.
Gym. You're in kindergarten.
I think we did gym, and I think we did gym.
You went down to the gym teacher and the gym.
Yeah, like once a week or something, and you had
maybe.
And you had the big parachute, which was the awesomest thing in the world, right? It was probably like once a week, maybe. I don't know how often we went, but I do remember doing that, and I remember. And she would read to us a lot. I remember that's when I heard about Indian in the Cupboard and Owls in the Family. We'd have reading time, and they'd read those books. I remember sitting on the carpet, and she had like a rocking chair. But yeah, no, it was great. Yeah. I enjoyed kindergarten. I had half day though. It was half day kindergarten.
Did you have a crush on your kindergarten teacher? Or was she older?
She was older. Not her, I don't think. I always think of my first grade teacher, Mrs. Lemon.
Mrs. Lemon.
I think it was Lemon. That's how maybe it was Lemon. Mrs. Lemon. Definitely had a crush on her, but yeah.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's the only teacher I think I really remember, except for band directors, was Mrs. Whitaker, kindergarten teacher. She's beautiful. She's young. She smelled so nice. Who wanted to sit on my lap and help her show the book, Yeah. And I was always volunteering for that.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes. Did you ride the bus or
no? So if anybody ever goes and looks on the map, but my literally, you look out the school and you to the left, you're looking at the front. Well, kind of the front of the original front of the school. They built on a thing, and the front became the side, but you could see our house from the school.
You live next door.
Our house basically sat on the corner of the school property, basically across from it.
So you just walk there.
It would literally be like from like where our church is now at Grace Point to the new was it Peach Blow or whatever that's right there. That's the distance. Not even. I was my school was closer to my house was closer to that.
Yeah. So you said it was a pretty stable year. So when you would get out of school at noon, what awaited you at home?
Yeah, so I'd come home and, just come, I always remember walking out. We'd walk down the little hill there, and then I could see my house right there and walk across and go inside. But, I was when I was building this, one of the things that stood out to me, and of course this had been in October, was on my mom. Of course, she loved horror stuff, right? So she would buy all these things, and she bought this like witch that was a full size, like 5 foot, 6 foot tall,
like an inflatable thing, or
no? It was a cardboard, like we're like on, how people buy the skeletons where they have the little like you can move the arm and stuff like that. So the arms could move, her head didn't, but she was like it was almost like Elvira, and it might have been Elvira, but I don't remember it being Elvira.
Yeah.
But my mom had really long black hair, right, and she always had it straight like that. And she would put this up on the front door. And we had one of those storm doors too. So she'd put it on the front door, and then the storm door would close. So all you would see is, because the bottom part was white and the top was the glass. And so when I'd come home sometimes, it would startle me because I thought my mom was standing in the doorway.
Oh.
And I don't know why my brain couldn't remember, like, hey, that's not my mom. But sometimes it would just catch me, and I'd be like, and then I'd realize,
it was a cut out of a witch.
It's cut out of
You're saying that your mom looked like a witch?
Yeah, no, my mom no, my mom didn't look like a witch. Well, Elvira was a very pretty lady, right? If you remember, like Elvira, and
yes,
and this cutout was a nice looking. It wasn't like a crazy looking, like with the long chin and the nose and the hat. This lady just had long black hair. But I remember it used to startle me all the time and come home for that. So a lot of times coming home, on half day schedule. You would come in and didn't know what was, going to happen, but it was like usually fun days. I mean, 1980, my mom's there. My stepdad, Keith, is living with us.
How many boys?
My four brothers at this point. So it's Ryan, Rob, Jason, Ryan, Brian, and Ryan and Brian and myself. Joe's living with my dad, of course.
Okay.
And, we're doing the every other weekend out to visit my dad, who at this point may have already moved from Nashville to Jeromesville, but.
Okay. So there's 4 boys in the house.
5 total boys.
5 total boys. And you're where in the order?
I'm right. Of the 5 boys, I'm right in the middle.
You're in the middle.
I'm the middle child.
So you had the twins were older than you.
Twins are younger than me.
Who's older?
Rob and Jason.
And they were in the same elementary school.
Yep, we're all in the same going to Shreve. Ryan and Brian aren't in school yet. They're at home. They're younger, and then Rob and Jason are older, and they're probably, let's see.
You're in kindergarten?
Probably first grade. Yeah. If I'm in kindergarten, Jason's in second and Rob's in.
Did they ever see you on the playground?
Like
would they have ignored you or protected you or bullied you?
No, that age, it's interesting. I don't remember any really us fighting or having any big.
Yeah.
I feel like we all got along pretty well and played together well.
Yeah.
I didn't have any like, I'm going to get beat up by my brothers at that age, really admired them. And
but throughout elementary school, did teachers say, "Oh no, not another Lewis"?
Oh, that would be our entire Jason was always all the teachers loved Jason. So, but Rob was a little rambunctious usually, right? So,
and so they didn't know what they were getting.
But at that age, I don't know if he really had set a bad rep or not. You know what I mean? I think he did pretty well in school.
Teachers were thrilled to have you then. Thanks to your oldest brother.
Yeah, maybe so. I think we all had different. They had a different kindergarten teacher. I remember.
Okay.
Her name was like Mrs. Marchin, I believe.
Okay.
Miss Marchin, I think, is what it was called. So they had they didn't seem to enjoy her. She was very strict and hard, I guess, compared to my teacher, who was very nice.
So it was pretty stable home in 1980.
Yeah, I think so, for, having a divorced parents, which I do remember my mom talking a lot about, like she felt judged.
Okay.
I think that came up quite a bit. She was worried about the way the teachers may treat us and stuff because
Why?
Because she, being a divorced woman.
Oh, being divorced and remarried.
And remarried at that, at that time period. I think it was, I don't know. I mean, again, I'm not there, but I do remember her talking about it.
Yeah.
And sometimes the perception she had the worries about, like, are we being, if people being prejudiced against us because we have a divorce?
Did mom and your stepdad have close friends? Any neighborhood friends?
Yeah, I mean, Dale and Carol were the good friends, and then next door neighbors. We had Shelly was my friend that lived next door. Alice.
Shelly.
Yeah, Alice was a good friend of mine, and then Clinton Clate lived down the road, and then a kid next door, Davey, and I can't remember his sister's name. And then we had across the street. For some reason, they were always referred to them as the landlords, which I thought was weird because we didn't rent the place.
Oh.
And as far as I know, we had a mortgage on our house there.
But they were called the landlords.
Yeah, they were called landlords.
Got to get to the bottom of this.
Yeah, I don't understand how that worked, but.
And what kind of? Do you remember what games you played back then when you were 5 years old with the neighborhood kids?
Oh yeah, so we played a lot of hide and seek then.
Hide and seek.
Yeah, we played a lot of hide and seek, tag, and we just ran through the
Did
neighborhood.
you like to hide with Shelly?
Shelly was like a year older than me.
Oh, even better.
Yeah, Shelly was like a year older than me. She was definitely a girl that I had a crush on, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if what ever happened when she moved away, or when I moved away. I'm the one that moved away.
Yeah.
She lived right next door. So I think there were plenty of times where when I got to go over and play with her, I was happy.
Yeah.
Like we'd play in like a cardboard box and like play house or dolls with her. I was just happy to be there in her presence. You know what I mean? I think when you're young, I don't know if it's you're kids, so you enjoy the company, but there was something nice sometimes about playing with like a girl.
Yeah.
And just the gentleness of it or something.
Did you play G.I. Joes or?
At that age, we had mostly. We had a lot of different we didn't have G.I. Joes at that point though. I know we didn't have G.I. Joes in 1980. We didn't have them yet. The toys. I don't remember what toys. We had like Tonka trucks. I think.
When I was a boy, I played with G.I. Joes.
Yeah, we'll get to G.I. Joes later. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But at this point, 1980, we didn't have G.I. Joes. We had more like Tonka trucks and stuff like that.
I mean, when I was growing up,
I don't remember.
It was the bad guys were always the Indians.
Yeah, probably. Well, we probably had the green Army Men. I think some Green Army Men. Yeah, I think we had some Green Army Men. We probably had some Cowboys and Indian stuff. We play that and things like that.
Well, tell me another story from back then. You said a bathroom fire story. Tell me that story.
Yeah. So, so what happened was I'll start with where I remember. Right.
All right.
So I just remember it's. I'm half day kindergarten.
Yeah.
And I get out of school and I come home. And when I come home, I just see it seemed like all of our furniture, but there was just so much of our furniture all out on the front lawn. And I remember just thinking like, what in the world is going on? And there are people there. There is a fire truck there.
So, but in the morning you were in school. Was there fire trucks coming?
No, well, where I was at, I had no idea. No,
you had no idea. Okay.
No, I had no idea. I had got up, went to school, gone to school. I come home. It's a half day, and when I come home, I see that there's all our furniture on the front lawn, and I'm like, "What is going on?" And there's people there, and fortunately, it was a nice day.
So what happened?
Yeah, so I walk in the front door. And my mom's there, and there's just a lot of shuffling going on, right? And I could smell something, but
was mom there, or was the witch?
Yeah, right. Well, I don't remember what time of season this was.
That's not what you were worried about.
But I remember hearing my brother then. So we had that register. So when we would get sent to our room, our upstairs was we didn't have hallways upstairs, right? You went up the stairs. There was one bedroom and then two connected bedrooms, right? There were 3 bedroom. It was a 3-bedroom house, but there's no hallways and there's no other bathroom. It's like the old schoolhouses where you just go up, or the old homes, where you go upstairs. It's like 1 room upstairs when you first go up, and then 2 bedrooms. And then in the bedroom right upstairs when you went up the stairs to the right, there was a register, right, that allowed air to pass through, because we didn't have central air or anything, right? Just the heating would flow through there. And so when we were kids, we got in trouble. We got sent upstairs to our room. We would then hover
over the register,
right? And then cry and ask for, when can we come down and things like that. Well, I come home and I can hear my brother Brian coming down, his voice coming down through the register, and just I'm like, "Mom, I'm sorry." He's crying. "I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. Can I come down?"
He's one of the younger.
He's the youngest of the 5 of us that are living there. He's the youngest. Brian, Reiner twins. And I can hear him crying, and he's just asking to come down. And I'm trying to piece together everything at this point, right? And then I remember my mom saying something like, "No," like he's up there for eternity.
So the furniture's out front because there had been a fire?
Yeah. So what happens is I walk into the bathroom then.
First floor?
The first floor, yeah. So I go from the living room, you go into like a little dining room, and then to the left there's a stairs that go down to the basement, and then there's the bathroom. And I open up the bathroom door, and I just see this black melted, like,
oh my,
everything. Yeah. So the bathroom had been burnt down. And
what happened?
Yeah. So
obviously Brian's involved.
Yeah, Brian is obviously involved. So what happened was. And this is from Brian, who gave me permission to share the story.
Oh,
too.
That's good to know.
I mean, it almost like is a story that has to be in there.
Okay.
So I guess, I go off to school. My stepdad's there. My mom, I guess, was upstairs sleeping, I guess. And I guess Keith was there and he had fallen asleep. Well, Ryan and Brian then are watching the TV. They had the old like Zenith wooden, right? Remember the TVs,
consoles.
the console that had the wooden frame around it, and that was a special thing to have that TV. I remember, but they're in front of that. So when you walk in the front door and you look to the wall on the far wall, that's where the TV would be.
Yeah.
But I guess and the couch was there in front of it, and they, I guess, were watching Romper Room.
Okay.
And I guess Brian went into the bathroom. He saw a lighter sitting there on the counter. Both my mom and my stepdad smoked cigarettes. And I guess he thought he decided to start playing with it. And he started playing with it, and he would light the curtain on fire, which you walk into our bathroom, there was like a little cubby area or like closets and drawers. And then you went a little bit like a small hallway, but then there was the sink, the toilet, and then the tub. And then across from the toilet, there was a window there, and there was curtains there. And I can still remember those curtains. They were like a green color, I believe. And anyways, he had lit them on fire and he put it out, and then he would light it on fire, I guess, again. And he lit it on fire, and then it started burning really bad. And I guess he threw water on it and he couldn't get it out. So then Brian was like, well, what I do now? He just, he's like probably 4. He walks out and he just shuts the bathroom door and he sits down with Ryan and starts watching Romper Room.
Oh no.
Yeah. So, the whole
mom and stepdad are asleep.
They're asleep. Ryan and Brian are watching Romper Room. And and so now the bathroom is on fire and it's burning down. And I guess from my understanding, then somewhere in there, the fire alarm starts going off. I don't know what Ryan was doing the whole time, right? Like I always, I never heard his side of the story, what he did. So Ryan, if you want to share that'd be interesting. But yeah, he shut the door. Romper Room. I don't know if you remember Romper Room. Like Brian was telling me how he remembers the lady. I guess she was to the point now where she's doing the magic mirror, right?
Okay, yeah.
I see, Terry. I see Tommy. I see Brian sitting on the floor while the bathroom burns down.
That's crazy.
But I guess the fire alarm went off. But I remember my mom telling the story later. She made it sound like our cat, we had a Siamese cat, Ming, who I guess was freaking out. And actually my mom says that's what woke her up. I don't think we had our poodle. We might have had our toy poodle Easter at this point. I don't remember.
All right.
But Ming was our pet, and I love that Siamese cat. She was a Siamese, and I guess she was flipping out. But I guess Keith wakes up, and there's just flames, and he goes and he opens the door up. And of course, when he opens the door up, that causes like a backdraft, and I guess flames shot up. But we actually had a fire extinguisher in that closet right there in the bathroom when you first walk in.
Okay.
And he grabbed it, and I guess he started putting out the fire with the fire extinguisher. And then obviously they called the fire department, and they got there pretty quickly. And they had to smash the bathroom window there where Brian had lit it on. And I guess that's where they drug the hose through and then hosed everything off and got the fire out. I remember my mom, though, she was furious that they broke the bathroom window. You know what I mean? Again, I think similar.
Probably had been melted by then.
Yeah, I think similar. Yeah, that bathroom was a disaster. And I guess I don't know how the insurance worked.
Was there smoke damage in the rest of the house, or because he had shut the door?
I don't remember there being smoke damage through the rest of the house.
Then what's the furniture out in the front
yard?
yard?
I guess they just moved it out maybe. I don't know. I don't know that whole process of what happened. I just remember seeing the furniture out on the front lawn and when I came home. And eventually I do remember the bathroom getting redone and it looking really nice and everything. And I think we got a shower at that point, because I think before that we only had a tub.
Okay.
And so I think after that we got a shower put in, because I remember when we washed our hair, like the screaming, you would do when your mom would wash your, at least for me, it was terrifying. It seemed like you had to lay your head back and she'd rinse your hair. And we didn't have like baby shampoo back then. So you're getting like, you're burning eyes as it ran in. But eventually, I think after that, we got a shower head put in.
At that point, you'd experienced a fire? No, you were at school.
Mm-hmm.
But
so my brothers.
Did this affect you the rest?
Well, I do remember Rob and Jason saying, like later, they were describing, because their classrooms were at the front of the school. From where so they were like on the second or third floor. And I do remember one of them coming home and saying how they were sitting in class, and when the fire trucks showed up, somebody's like, oh, there's fire trucks. And so everybody ran like to the windows to look out.
Okay, that was your brother's.
Yeah,
okay.
and my brother's like, wait, that's our house. So, and so, he watched from the school window as, as our house was burning up and on fire. But anyways, insurance, I guess, somehow it got fixed up.
Yeah.
And it all worked out.
I mean, it's another episode. I was 10 years old when our house burned. It was in the middle of the night. Middle of the night, and it was our dog that woke us up.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Wow. How bad did it burn?
Well, it was, we lived on a one-story ranch, and it was the family room and the kitchen that were in pretty bad flames, and the dog came and woke up. Dad
who started the fire?
So Dad was gone. Well,
was it your sister Lorrie?
No.
Oh, it was you?
No.
Oh.
It was Mom was what do you do when you take a paint remover and varnish remover?
Yeah.
He was redoing something in the garage, and these rags were filled with flammable stuff. She put it in a gallon baggie, and she put it in the waste basket under Dad's desk in the family room, right next to the heat register.
Oh.
So it was spontaneous combustion.
Wow.
And so that whole area, and then the rest of the house had smoke damage. So
Did you have any smokers? Did your parents smoke?
Yeah, both smoked, but that wasn't the cause of it.
There was no like dropping the cigarette into the.
Dad was a salesman, so he was gone middle of the week, middle of the night, and we all ran over to the Enochs across the street. Julie Enoch's house.
Oh, well, there you go. You were happy for that, huh?
Yeah. No, and then, and then we spent 4 months at the Ramada Inn living together in 2 bedrooms, connecting bedrooms while they rebuilt the house.
Yeah.
I just remember that to this day, that's why I asked, because to this day, if I'm ever got flammable rags or anything like that,
you really pay attention.
I soak them in water and I set them outside in the driveway.
Really? You make sure that they're good to go.
Freaks me out. Me out. All right, what other stories you got from 1980?
I was gonna say though, you remember like I was just when I was talking about smoking and stuff, I was picturing how like our house always had this haze. Like it just had this haze, like this cloud, and so the sunbeam would come through the light. Right?
Yeah.
And you would just see the smoke. And it's funny how I would just watch it. And my mom smoked marijuana then too. And she smoked it openly.
We have a lot in common.
Yeah, my mom smoked it openly. So I also at that time remember I learned at a very young age. At that age, she didn't bong it. She made joints. But I guess the weed then came with had seeds in it.
Okay.
And so she would sit there and like crumble it up. I remember she had this Coca-Cola tray.
Okay.
And she would break up the weed or whatever, the marijuana, and then she would like use the paper, you know how the little papers come out, the cardboard.
Okay.
And she would it was like weird because she would like go like this, and the seeds would run out, and she kept the tray at an angle, right, and then she would go like this with it, and basically what I'm saying.
You would watch her.
Yeah, I was sitting right there, and she would just break it up, but she would take her hand and she would push the marijuana up on the tray, and then the seeds would run down to the corner of the tray, and then she had a little jar there, and then they would fall into the jar.
She never tried to hide it from you.
No, not then. She didn't. And then she would break it up, and then they would put it right on the paper and
cigarette paper.
Yep, and then smoke it right there. And so I was used to I learned right in front of us. I mean, it was just like a normal thing,
Yes.
And so I'm sure my brothers remember that too. Well, that's funny. Like, you don't know that's abnormal, right? You just that's just way,
well,
smoking cigarettes. You don't. My mom was a don't do what as I do what I tell person.
We had the same youth. This is it.
So
after our house fire, they built 2 bedrooms in the basement, and with no egress.
Yeah.
you just had a house fire. You're moving back into a house,
yeah.
and I'm living down in the basement.
Yeah.
With no egress. That scares the living daylights out of me. But anyway, mom was always known she had a green thumb. She could grow anything, and she had these grow lights in the basement by the washer and dryer, and she would have all these plants, including her favorite, her Mary Jane plants.
Yep. My mom had one.
I didn't know what it was.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. But I remember somebody talking about it later. They were like, "Oh, yeah, she had the little potted plant," and it was just like a couple. But.
And so I assumed that my mother
was
never smoked it because she just was a green thumb and on a dare she see if she could grow it.
Yeah.
And my baby sister said,
"Oh no,
Terry, you're an idiot." Of course, Mom had her nerve pills and she had her Mary Jane. And
right
Dad
there.
had alcohol. This is the house we grew up in.
Yeah.
And it sounds like
it's
similar
pretty standard.
house.
I think it was a pretty standard American blue collar.
Really?
Yeah, like, childhood. You know what I mean?
I guess. I thought it was kind of... Yeah, we talked about all the other neighbors being strange, and all the neighbors talked about the Lewises being strange.
Well, maybe it's because maybe we are related.
Maybe we are related.
But yeah, I do also remember 1980 was it was amazing, actually. It was like one of those magical moments. What happened was, and again, my birthday's in December, so my birthday and Christmas would usually get mixed together. But,
okay.
And I don't know if this was November or December when this happened. I do feel like it was more like the weather was still pretty nice out, but it was just, like I said, I don't remember any other toys when I was a kid other than Tonka trucks, other than this one. And what it was is,
what was
so
the toy?
the morning, what happens is my brother played the trumpet.
Okay.
And he had, they'd rented a trumpet from Larry's Music or whatever up in Worcester.
Yeah.
And anyways, he had the trumpet case and he couldn't find his trumpet for some reason. And so I remember we're all looking for his trumpet.
In the house. Christmas time.
And I remember I go upstairs and I don't know if Rob was with me or if somebody else was with me. For some reason, sometimes I think there was somebody else. And anyways, as we're looking, next to my mom's bed, there is looks like a trumpet case, but it's got a blanket over it. And so I remember pulling that blanket back and I see there that we have an Atari underneath the blanket.
Still in the box,
brand new. And I just was like, my eyes were just like, oh my goodness, what is this? This is incredible, right? So I don't know I don't know at this age how I thought of this, but I remember, and maybe it was my brother that was with me, but we literally deliberately, we didn't want to be the people that found it because we knew that would be problematic. So we just uncovered it. You know what I mean? We just uncovered it. And then we continued on our way. And no joke, within 5-10 more minutes, one of my younger brothers, Ryan or Brian, I don't know which one it was, somebody else found the Atari. And so now, because it's out there in the open, they found the Atari. And so it's like, oh my goodness, right? Everybody's like, what is this? We got this Atari. And so then
you had found it earlier.
Yeah.
But wanted to blame it.
I didn't want to blame it. I just didn't want to be the one who found it because I didn't know what the
consequences.
What the consequences. And the consequences, they weren't terrible in a way, but there was anger obviously from my mom. My mom was like, all right, this was for Christmas. And I don't know if your parents would say this often, but it's going back. That's it.
That's it. It's going back.
Since you guys found it, you ruined it. It's going back, which is kind of funny because my mom would say that, and my dad, even though they were divorced, that was a routine thing that my dad would say too. Every Christmas present I think we got, and I'm a guy that I don't want to know. Actually, in that case, I found it, but normally at Christmas, I never wanted to know what I was getting. So my brothers.
You weren't on a hunt.
No, I was
looking for a trumpet.
I was, but once I found it, I was like this. So I remember my mom, and I remember this it's like being somber now because my mom, it was believable, I guess, that hey, that's it. We found it, and the only other choice is to take it back, and we ruined the Christmas, and you're not going to get this for Christmas. So it's like it's it. And so I remember going to school, and then I'm half day kindergarten. And I remember coming home then at half day, and I remember when I opened the door, the same door went for the bedroom burning down, the same door with my mom's witch picture on it. All I can see across the room is the TV, and there's Space Invaders on there. So my mom, somewhere during the day with my other little brothers, because they're home, had decided to go ahead and pull it out. Maybe Keith did.
It's still before Christmas.
Before Christmas, and they opened it and had it set up. And it was like the most magical thing in the world. I remember just seeing Space Invaders, and I just took off running from the door. And I remember doing the knee slide, right? And just knee sliding right up to the console.
You just scored a goal in a soccer game.
Yeah, just knee slided right up to the console, and I can still hear that Space Invaders, that sound, that dun, 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 dun. And I could just see it, and they're just hitting it. And then, of course, at that point, we didn't fight too much, but I do remember that was probably the beginning of fights of like whose turn it is to be able to play the Atari or what game.
So Mom just forgot about it. Nobody really got in trouble.
No, I think my mom was, like, as you learned probably later, when you get toys like that for your kids, you're kind of just as excited about it for yourself. So now that the surprise had been ruined, I guess she just figured, hey, let's go ahead and pull this out and let's get it going. So yeah, the era of the Atari 2600 started for us for me with Space Invaders, but Combat came with it. So she had bought Space Invaders, but we'd buy a whole, Pitfall. We'd get that. E.T., the game, Superman. I mean, E.T. and Superman were the strangest games ever. Raiders of the Lost Ark.
I don't have any experience with any of these.
Really?
Pong.
Well, Pong, yeah. I remember playing Pong like in 1978 or 79 over at, it might have been Dale and Carol's or somebody else. Maybe it was Kathy and Ed too. Somebody had Pong, or they brought it over the house. Remember? And you had the little alligator clips and you would slide it on the back of the TV. And
alligator clips.
Well, the two little clips that when you plugged it in. Remember the screws you'd unscrew on the back of the TV for the antenna, but that's what you would slide it.
Oh, okay.
And then you'd hook the antenna up to the little box. You had the little slider button that would switch from TV to game.
That's right.
On the back, and it always seemed like the stupid little clip thing would break off. And then you would the connection would would break out, but then you'd have to cut it and then just wrap the wire around it, make little hooks.
Yeah.
And I don't know why that was the case, but
wow.
Yeah.
And
but
so,
it was exciting.
So you really didn't have a big present on Christmas morning.
I don't remember anything much about that Christmas other than the fact that we got the Atari.
And how did you take turns?
I don't remember how
5 boys.
Yeah, I don't.
You don't have memories that you fought over it.
Well, we definitely fought over it. And as we got older, I mean, we go from Atari to Nintendos, and there was plenty of battles, and there's more stories. There's stories about those.
We'll get into those.
We'll get into those. But yeah, they were. I do remember wanting to play Pitfall or not playing. They played Pitfall all the time. So I did one time. I got to admit, I went and hid Pitfall because I was like, I want to play this other game, and they just wouldn't. They were playing Pitfall for all the time, and I was like, we got to stop playing this game.
So you and your brothers, I mean, you did a lot of stuff together.
Yeah, so it was nonstop, like I said, again, I don't remember us having a lot of toys, right?
Right.
But I do remember we just played a lot, right? We'd play with sticks. You go out and you play with sticks, right? Those become guns or swords.
Yeah.
Or we learned how to roll up newspapers, right? And make them swords. You remember?
All
I don't know
right.
if you've ever done that where you rolled them up.
And you have a story. Go ahead.
Well, I have stories. I have so many stories of, so what we would do is, you got to build forts. And so, my daughter does this to this day, right? She has people over, except for we had 5 brothers. So we're always, 5 boys at this house. So,
blanket forts.
Blanket forts. And we would build the whole entire living room or whatever with blanket forts. And so, unfortunately, though, my mom, oh my goodness, you have all these boys.
Yes.
There's, 5 years, less than 5 years. Yeah, 5 years. So you have 5 boys in 5 years because there's 7 twins in there, right? I mean, that's a lot of boys in a short period of time. We're all very close in age. She loved these Avon knickknacks. I don't know if anybody else. Did your mom ever buy those? The Avon lady would come. And she'd sell these knickknacks, and some of them were perfume. Right, the top is plastic, the bottom is perfume, and you have to you take the top off and you unscrew it. There's perfume in there, but just all these knickknacks, little figurines.
Okay.
She loved these figurines, probably like Precious Moments. She didn't have Precious Moments, but it was the Avon lady, I remember. And I think my mom might have sold Avon too. Maybe that's how she got them, but they were everywhere. She'd buy these little shelves that were offset, all the way around in a circle going up, and she put a different knickknack on there. And
you didn't use that as a weight.
Yeah, so what we would do is those would become the corner weights, right? So we would put up, you put the blanket here, you put the Avon on it, right? You go here, you put another Avon lady on that. You just keep Avoning all the corners, and eventually, I mean, this is a china shop getting ready to collapse.
I was about to say 5 boys.
5 boys.
In it. Oh my, what happened?
So then one of us or somebody, then the big battle would start and somebody'd run through or jump on the thing. And sure enough, then the blankets would just fall. And when the blankets would fall, then...
Did these figurines come falling?
Yeah, they would just fall and they just start hitting each other and just breaking and chipping and everything else.
Oh, no.
And so at that point, my mom, say she was reading a book or she was sleeping. That's always remember my mom. She was either reading a book or she was sleeping or she was at work, right?
Yeah.
I mean, she's a single mom. Or no, she's married at this point, but, it's the 80s and everybody's working hard. But yeah, at that point, she could hear, she could have been in the next house over and she could hear the knickknacks breaking. And sure enough, oh my goodness, as soon as I saw them break, I would probably immediately begin to cry.
Because what was the consequence?
Because the consequences, when you have 5 boys, right? And at that point, corporal punishment was pretty standard. I think everybody that grew up in, probably all the way up to I don't know when it stopped.
Yeah.
I honestly can ask my kids. I've never spanked my children, but we definitely my mom didn't call them spanking. She called them beatings.
Beatings.
Yeah. So she would say, line it up. You're getting a beating. Right. As soon as it would break,
line them up, meaning all 5 of you are going to.
Yeah. Line it up. You're getting a beating. And
she would do it.
Oh yeah. And her weapon of choice was a hanger. So it was,
wait a minute.
Yeah. Normally, usually, generally
a hanger,
a wire hanger. Yeah.
A wire hanger. How can that cause any pain?
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm serious.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. The wire hanger, I mean, there's nothing to it. It's so fast and it's just whoo, whoo, whoo. And so she would line it up. And I remember as soon as she would say that, right? As soon as the knickknacks, I was just in terror. And then as soon as she'd say, line it up, we're getting a beating. I immediately had to pee. I was like, I've got to pee. And so I would always have to go straight to the bathroom. And then while that's happening, my other brothers, the beatings have begun. Yeah. And I think she actually, now I think about it, there's a comedian I remember, I think he would, but the beatings will begin or something like that. But the beatings would begin. And my mom then, she'd grab you by the arm and, wire hanger.
Did she have a room of choice?
No, but a lot of the
wherever
beatings,
it was spot.
Yeah, whatever it was. I mean, because it was quick, right? It wasn't like you would see on TV, where they would sit them down and talk to them and say, this is going to hurt me more than it's going to hurt you, but you know what you did wrong. No, this was immediate, very swift punishment.
You should not punish in anger. This one.
Oh yeah,
this the Avon knickknacks.
You've broken the knickknacks, and the beatings will begin.
Let the beatings
line
begin.
them up. You're getting a beating, and so she would grab the first brother and. And of course, all of us had, I mean, maybe it was passed on generationally, and so we all did the same dance, which is my mom grabs you by the hand and she's got the hanger in the other hand and immediately your legs fall out, right? So my legs, your legs fall out. And so she's lifting you up and then she starts the swatting. And of course she's hitting you, I mean, in the back of the leg, the butt, the back, and it's just swatting as fast as you can. And you're going in a circle though, right? So she's, you're trying to, you've got your back, you know what I'm talking about? You got your back arch. Did you ever get those?
Yes.
Yeah, you're arching your back, your knees.
And you got your rubber legs.
Yeah, your rubber legs are down and she's just swatting. And then it's it's tossed, right? You're that person's tossed.
Oldest to youngest.
Oldest to youngest.
Always, yeah.
Usually generally, is how it went, but it was whoever was right there first, right?
Oh, okay.
And then sure enough, the next one up, same thing, the same dance, drop the knees.
No
swing
defense.
Around.
I wasn't even in the room, Mom. Didn't matter.
I don't remember too many people. I mean, people probably were pleading.
Here's for the
case.
time that you didn't get caught.
I'm sure there were people pleading their case, but yeah, the beatings had begun. And then of course, then we got to go upstairs. And so now we're all upstairs, right? And this
so it hurt.
Oh, it hurts so bad. Yeah, you could see welts.
A wire coat hanger.
Yeah, all right. Well, let's beat Gary after this. Let's see what he says. You could see the welt lines of where it would hit you.
Yes.
On your leg, your back, or whatever. But
I don't know how our audience is reacting right now.
Yeah, I don't know if this is
if you're our age, maybe you could tell us what the weapon of choice.
I mean, their choices usually were switches, right? hanger, spoons.
Ours was the
A
belt.
belt. Yeah, we got the belt a couple times, but it seemed like the wire hanger was the normal. And then we'd all be upstairs. We'd all be up there like sniveling, like I don't know how that sounds on the radio. and then we'd start arguing who got it worse. Like I got it worse than you did, Jeremy, because you went last, right?
Jerome.
I wasn't called Jerome then yet, but you always go last because I always had to pee. And I do remember.
Oh, that's why you were last, because you always had to pee.
Yeah. And I do remember though one time where I didn't get to go, and I got to admit it, I didn't get to go to the bathroom, and as soon as she hit me, I peed my pants. I mean, as soon as that hanger got me, I was like, and of course I'm not going to say that. So then we'd all be up there, and just after a while, now it's one of us or a group of us has to go to the register, and and the other side of it. So
wait a minute. The register again.
Yeah, but before
where you whimper so that everybody in the house can hear it.
The funniest line is before we would get to that point, right? We'd all be up there crying, and the most famous line, I'm sure every kid and parent has heard this. My kids haven't, but was, "You better be quiet, shut up before I come up there and give you something to cry about."
Yes.
Did you get that line?
Yes.
And you're like thinking.
But now I'm getting a picture of this heat register.
Yep.
Is the whimper zone.
Yep. So then
to get pity.
Well, yeah, now we come and we crawl in our heads, like we'd be multiples of us, because we're little. You could fit like 3 about heads because it was against the wall. So there were 3 of the edges, and you could get there, and then somebody would ask, can we come down now? And usually it was like, no. And then we would have to be up there for a little while longer.
Oh my!
Eventually,
goodness.
though, my mom would soften up, and then we would be able to come
All right,
down.
we got time for a couple more. How about the mudslide story?
Oh well, this is so. I don't know what happened, right?
You don't.
Well, I don't know who started it, but we had this. It seemed like a massive hill. When I go back there now, it doesn't look that big, but it seemed massive to me back in the day. Our back, you go out the back of our, it was all grass. There was like a flat area, and then there was a hill that went down in a flat area. Well, on the hillside of it, somebody decided that, hey, my mom wasn't home. I don't know what was going on.
Yeah.
My mom, back then, sometimes you had babysitters, sometimes you didn't. I think my brother Rob was probably in charge.
All right.
But we decide that we're going to use the hose and just start drenching the grass down on the hill. So we're drenching the grass, and we just start sliding down it. Well, at first, the grass is really nice, right? Like it works perfectly because it's a hill, it's grass, and it's wet, and then we're just sliding over top of it, and it's like a slip and slide.
You don't need to buy a slip and slide.
No, and I don't know
on the grass.
I don't know if slip and slides were out in 1980, but we are sliding down this hill. Well, eventually, it's now mud. And I do remember sometimes we'd hit stones and stuff, but it's all mud, and it's just sliding. Like we're just sliding down this mud hill, and it's just getting, it starts off as like maybe 6 inches, and then it's a foot wide because as the grass is wearing away. And in my mind, of course, it ended up being like 6 foot wide, 7 foot wide. Like it's just all mud.
So you're all covered with mud.
We're all covered with mud. The grass is all gone.
Do you go inside?
So there's a point there where all of a sudden we decide we're done, and we're going inside. And I don't know if my mom had just gotten home at that same time that we decide that we're going inside. I don't remember what triggered us to go inside. And maybe we heard her car, and we're like, oh, we got to run inside. Maybe that was it. We heard her car pull up in the front of the house, and we're like, oh my goodness, let's run inside, right? So we go up, and I remember our basement, and the basement was not nice. Like this is an old house with the old cellars, and the back half was definitely really old. It was like this wooden, like you could see through the door in slats, like and it's kind of rotted away.
Like one of those cellar.
It wasn't like that.
It was a back door.
It was a back door that you went down the concrete stairs to get to the basement, but it was a wooden door, kind of like those, but it was up and down. And I just remember we opened the door up, and it's all dark in there. And as we opened the door, I don't know if it was Jason who went in, Brian. I don't know which one went in first, but I just remember seeing the hand come out of the darkness.
You're covered with mud.
Covered with mud. We've been having the best time in the world, right? And then all of a sudden now there's this hand coming out, and I can still remember, like I just see the hand grab whoever was in front of me, and then I start hearing the beatings. It was like Ralphie remember when Ralphie, and she calls him, and he's on Christmas Story, and she's talking about how he swore, and you could hear what's his name screaming in the background. That's all this. You just hear the screaming, and then immediately I've got to pee. You know what I mean? It's like I gotta pee, but like, sure enough, eventually come in, we're getting the beating, and then had to get hosed down, and we're all now sniveling, sent to our room, crying.
And he registered.
Yeah.
You mentioned babysitter, and we got to take the time. This is, to me, I want to hear this story.
Well, so, and I don't know, it had to be hard to find a babysitter for 5 boys.
I suppose.
5 years apart. And so we had a couple different ones. We actually ended up at one point, we had this lady that lived in our basement for a little while. She would live down there and babysit us. And she would make us mayonnaise, Miracle Whip sandwiches. You ever have a Miracle Whip sandwich? Just bread with Miracle Whip on it.
No.
And I actually liked it. But anyways, this other lady, she would babysit us. And I don't remember her name. But she had a pretty big rear end, I remember, right? She was just like... but she was like,
yes.
I just remember.
Where is this story going?
I just remember that. Well, what it would happen.
I really don't know these stories. I get a headline.
Yeah, we like to not, just so you know, we like to we intentionally don't tell each other stories.
We see one another throughout the week, and we start telling the stories. Just tell me no more. Save it for the show. All right. So anyway, you got a babysitter with a big end.
Yeah. So somewhere in there,
this
game started that we're going to hide. It's like hide and seek, and the hide and seek game is
in the house.
In the house, we're going to shut off all the lights in the house.
Dark. Okay.
Yep, dark. Shut off all the lights, and we hide, and she has to find us. Well, it started off kind of friendly and whatever, but it turned into there wasn't enough motivation for us to hide. So she came up with this idea that she was going to roll up these newspaper, but roll it up really thick, like 2 inches, roll it up, right? So it's like a club of newspapers, right? And when she finds us, if she finds us, we get beat with the newspaper. So that was increased the incentives.
Okay, now I gotta hide.
We gotta hide, right? So I remember, and all the lights were off. So I remember I would do the plain obvious. There was a place there, that picture window where I looked out and saw Louie and the police. That front picture window. I remember under the curtains, I would hide just along the wall.
Yeah.
I would literally lay there, just like in the open almost. Just right out in the, but I had dark clothes on, and I would just with the lights off. But you would hear somebody get beat. And then if they were too close, you just take off running, right? And then go hide somewhere else.
Go hide somewhere else.
And but anyways, I do remember, so we're getting beat over and over again. And 2 things happened during this. One of them is my brother Jason. He was infamous for this. And he did this to multiple times. He got, the little push pins.
Push pins?
Yeah. And
tacks.
Yeah. And he would sneak up behind her and just like she was her rear end, which was pretty.
So there had to be some light.
Yeah, well, I don't know how, but he
would find it.
He would find it. He couldn't miss it, I guess. And he would poke her right in the rear end with these push pins and just stab her, right? And then take off running. And anyways, that increased the level of beatings that we would receive with the what's it called? Eventually, he did this multiple times, and she would scream and yell, I remember. But eventually the beating started. And I do remember my mom had this glorious little music box.
Oh no.
And it had a Santa Claus on it.
Oh no.
And there was these little reindeer or these little people. When you rolled it up, the little magnet would move them around, right? And they would twirl, right? And they would just float around. And somewhere in that beating, in the middle, it's dark.
Oh no.
It gets hit and knocked over.
Oh no.
And the top breaks off. And so now we all wake, and I remember immediately, I'm like, my mom's not home though.
No, but you're getting beatings.
Oh, yeah, the beatings.
Now you're wondering, I got to pee.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, right, yeah. This is it's all over.
You know it's coming.
Yeah, and the babysitter's like, oh, no, you guys broke this, even though she's the one that probably broke it. And so we've got to fix this thing. And so she sends my brother down. We had these, piggy banks up at top, and they were, plastic, and they I don't know how, anyways, there were clear squares, but on top was Scooby-Doo and other stuff, and you dropped them in there. Nobody seemed to save any money but me. I had mine almost completely full.
Okay.
So they make the decision they're going to use my money to run down, and they give Rob the money to take the bicycle down to Quick Check and get glue to glue this thing back together. But anyways, they do glue it together, and eventually, my mom never figured it out until years and years later. She's looking at it, and she's like, what happened to my music box? But it was years and years later. But anyways, we broke it. No beatings of that.
This was the beginning of nighttime raids and war zones? Is this preparation?
Well, probably. Yeah, probably. This was
Did you ever try to stick a...
No. I didn't ever have to do anything like that. So.
All right. Well, let's move to landing this plane as a wrap-up. As you think about that year and all those stories, any lessons that you carry on through the rest of your life? I mean, it was really an unpredictable year.
It was, it was an enjoyable year though. Like I do think
It
back.
shape your life.
Yeah, I do think back to 1980s and that time. Like it's almost to me, even it's a wonder year kind of year in a way. Like it's very nostalgic of going out and playing till the sun. I didn't really go into that, right? But my mom had a dinner bell. Or the come home bell where she would ring it and we all knew to come running home.
We had one of those.
Yeah. And, and I don't remember, like it was a time where I don't remember us feeling poor.
Right.
I don't, I mean?
Right.
Obviously we weren't wealthy, but I don't remember us I remember getting my school clothes for the year, getting Granimals and the smell of my Granimals. Putting on the brand new school clothes, the new school supplies. Those are that year.
That's Americano.
Yeah, right. Just thinking back to that and playing outside again, drinking out of the water hose. We had a water hose out there that we used to create the mudslide, but we would drink out of that pretty routinely when we'd be out there playing. It was right at the side of the house, run up, turn that on. The stories of ghosts and things and being scared.
Right.
And
but family.
And family,
You've got 5 kids. You got 4 brothers, and to this day, you guys have these stories.
Oh yeah,
from those years.
Yep, and we all got along pretty well then. I don't remember ever having. Another was the monster train, because we lived right by the railroad tracks there.
Okay.
So every night when the railroad train would go by, you'd have to hide underneath your blankets because of the monster train. And if you looked out, then the monsters would get you. And I'll tell you, in my head, I had created that this train was going by and it was glowing and there were ghosts zipping along the sides of it and there were monsters. And if I would look out, I would get caught by the monsters. And I never did. I always I would stay under the blankets, hold my breath. But anyways, that was the years, right?
Those were the years.
It was a good year with all my brothers there and my mom and my stepdad. And
it was a good year.
It was a good year.
Good years. Well, 1980. What a wonderful time.
Yep.
Well, listen, for those of you that have been watching or listening to this, you have to have stories about when you were 5 years old.
Absolutely.
Please send us some comments. Tell your stories. We'd love to read them and share with them in future episodes.
Absolutely. So take care and stay unpredictable.